which, if you read the papers and read the blogs, has caused a little bit of controversy. And some have said, we have to live within our budget, you need to live within yours. Well, I assure you, we will live within our budget. If we don't find some supplemental income to support this program, it's going to result in a decrease in services or potentially a fire station closure. So with that, I'll see if there's any questions regarding those issues or any others. I'd be happy to answer. Yes, ma'am.
How do you propose to collect that $48? Are you going to have an issue, a ballot issue on this, or are you just going to ask the community to come forward and join it?
It's a voluntary subscription program, so at least at this phase, it won't be a ballot initiative. It would be strictly a voluntary program.
And how do we subscribe? Do we call the fire department?
No, it will be. We'll be proactive on that front, and we're still working out the details and how we're going to do this and when we're going to do that, and it certainly has to have community approval as well. But eventually, the plan is that the residents would receive the $48 bill once a year from the fire department.
Okay, so I have a question. What happens when there's a car accident? Will that cover the car accident? Do you think that?
Yes, for the residential subscriber, the $48 would cover all members of that family and visitors to your residence if you have some visitors over. But it's not the type of thing where we're not going to respond if you're not a subscriber, or we show up and believe me, our crews will not know that you're a subscriber or not until, they'll never know, actually. So it will not impact our ability to respond.
I thought there was already a cost associated with dialing 911. So does that occur in some areas and not in others? And how does that work? So
thank you for bringing that up.
Does not have that fee here on that?
We don't. He thought there was a cost associated with calling 911. Really, we rely solely on the two revenue generating measures that I spoke to earlier. Most other fire departments, Riverside, Corona, they have either a similar program, like the subscription fee we talked about, subscription program we talked about, and additionally, Corona receives $800,000 a year from AMR to support their paramedic program, and Riverside City receives $1.4 million from AMR to support their program. I've been speaking with AMR, and their generous offer to me was to replace one-for-one the equipment that we use when we're treating patients here in our town. The problem is, when someone's having a heart attack, we load the patient on the ambulance, there's really not a lot of time to say, I need 2 of those and 1 of those. So there's very minimal support to support what the service we're providing within our fire department as far as paramedic care goes.
Can you make a comparison to other cities or other regions as to how they, I mean, I understand Riverside and Corona, but how do other cities deal with that? I mean, they don't get this additional money.
One thing that might be helpful is to understand that outside of Riverside County, a lot of cities run their own ambulance.
Rick, come on up with the mic. I'm going to have Brandon come on up to, I wanted to chat about the city council's perspective.
One thing to understand is outside of Riverside and San Bernardino counties, a lot of cities run their own ambulances. So they collect all of the money from the insurance companies, from the federal government, etc., for transport. We don't get any of that. So we actually receive nothing for paramedic services. And sometimes we do, as the chief said, get some like-for-like replacement of equipment. But that maybe totals about $30,000 a year.
So it's a comprehensive issue. Again, not trying to stir the pot, not trying to create an issue. In fact, being a realist, trying to solve the problem. And as Mr. Dudley mentioned, many communities outside of Riverside County actually transport their own patients through the fire department, which makes them eligible to receive funding for the services that are provided by the fire department. Thank you. Some tough issues. I know there's probably lots more questions. We are out of time. I did leave a stack of business cards. Questions about this program, anything we can do to support your businesses in the name of safety training, we'll be happy to do. if there's truly any lingering questions, call me. My cell phone's on there, my email, and I'm very good at answering my phone and returning emails. So thank you for your time this morning.
As you can tell, that issue is a very complex, passionate issue. It's a bit of an onion. So if you guys have any more questions, I know the chief is willing to talk to you personally about it. I know any of the city council members would also be willing to talk to you about that. And that's not the end of it. It's going to keep rolling.